Hello there. Are you well? You must be fishermen or holy folk, for none else would take you here. But who or whoever, you're very, very welcome. Devlin's the name, John Devlin. And I'm one of the many Devlins that you find around these parts. I don't live too far away from here now, just live up the shore a bit. A place called, not far from a place called Tassie's Point. And I'm a Loch Ness fisherman. And I have been all my life, like my father and my father before him. It's all I've ever known, and it's all I've ever wanted to know. Now, fishing's been in my family from a way, way back, many a year. Been there a long time, but not as long as what you see behind me. And I think that's the reason why you're here. The Old Cross. The Old Cross of Ardboe, or as we simply call it, the Old Cross. Now there's many a story about how this cross came to be here. I'll tell you a ween of them. Now, it's a sandstone cross, and one of the big stories that you hear around here is that St. Patrick brought 3 crosses to Ireland, and one of the crosses made its way up here. And it was helped to be built up by St. Coleman. That's the story that a lot of people around here would go by. But whether saint or stonemason, they were master craftsmen. There's 22 panels on the Old Cross of Ardboe, and each panel tells a story about something that's in the Bible. You have Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, David and Goliath, the loaves and the fishes, and the crucifixion, stories like that. And the monks would have told the local people these stories of the Bible, and the local people would have understood it, and they would have told it in a way, like I haven't got a word in my head, but they would tell it in a way that the people would have understood well. And that tradition was passed down. Long after the monks, some of the local people learned all the panels of the cross and were able to tell it and teach it to the local people or any pilgrim that come. So that's the story of the panels of the cross, 22 of them in total. Now this is a very, very holy place, a place of peace and a place of pilgrimage. Now, the monks that lived here a way, way long time ago came here to pray and to work. They fished the loch like myself, and if you go by some of the stories that you hear over the years, St. Coleman himself fished for eels on the loch. They used the fish for food, and they also used the oil from the fish to burn in their lamps. And they prayed and they worked hard, and they lived the simple monastic life here on the western shore of Loch Ness. Now, this place wouldn't always have been as peaceful. The men from the north, with the horns on their helmets, came, went on rampaged the country, rampaged the loch, raiding people and raiding holy sites. And then at one point, all the buildings around here were made of wood, you see. And at one point, there was a fire and everything burnt down. I hope you're following me so far. There's many a story I could tell you, like I say. And as I say, this place is a place of prayer and a place of peace. And a story that you'll hear too is that the water of Loch Ness has got a healing power. Whether you're looking at it or whether you're able to touch it if you're near it, it's got a power of healing. Now there might be some truth to that. Because back during the O'Neill's War, a long time ago, the forces of the Crown were housed here at the church. And in the midst of all the fighting and whatever else was going on, they left the cross alone and they treated it with respect. And the cross held out well. It held out well and it stood its ground. Mind you, Mother Nature came into it. There's one time, about 60 years ago, the top stone there fell off, so it did. And then about 30 years after that, that upper bit, it come off too. But luckily, thankfully, with the help of Colonel Stewart of Killymoon and Cookstown, it was mended that same year. Now back to what I was saying about pilgrimage. People have come from all over, and still do, to this quiet, peaceful place to pray. Now, many a story again about how people did the praying, but one I'm going to tell you. People used to come and they would have kneeled at the base of the cross and they would have started to pray. And they would have went round the cross twice on their knees, praying on their beads. And when they got round the cross twice, they would have bowed to the face of the cross on the western side here that we're looking at now. That's one of the stories of pilgrimage. And then there's some people would have left a bit of silver at the base of the cross to be used by any of the local people or a descendant, if you like, of St. Colma. Now, there's been sadder times too with people praying. People used to pray at the base of the cross because they had to leave this country. They had to go across the water far away. And some of them would have chipped a bit of the cross off the base to take with them, to keep a bit of home close to their hearts. That's sad enough now. It's sad enough to tell, and I'd say it's sad enough to listen to. So people would have took little bits of the cross with them to keep home in their hearts. And then another sad tale too, in the graveyard just over there, they have what we call the pin tree. And that is a very, very powerful place of prayer for a lot of people over the years. Oh, there's a lot of legends about it too. But in the Christian faith that St. Patrick brought over, people would have went to the pin tree, and if they had a coin at all, they would have hammered that coin into the tree in the hope that it maybe would have cured an illness, or a simple prayer, or maybe just a wish for something good for people. And that's the pin tree. Now many's a time my mother hammered something into that pin tree, and mine did as well. But anyway, we'll not get sad. I'll tell you another yarn before I head on here. Ardboe, this is the name of this place, the old cross of Ardboe. Now in Irish, Ardboe means high cow, and there's many a story about how it got that name. But the one that a lot of people stick to is this. The monks that were living and working and praying here, and they worked hard, as I've said, and they were building a monastery, so they were. They're building a new monastery. But the men working at it were having a lot of bother trying to get the stones to stay together. Do you follow me? And they worked and thought that they weren't going to get the place built. But then, would you hear this? Then, this miraculous cow, would you believe, came out of the loch just down there. A miraculous cow came out of the loch, and will you hear this? The cow gave them milk for their thirst, good enough to feed them, and they also used the milk to mix with the mortar to make the stones stick. Do you follow me? And that's how they got the monastery built. And that's the story that everybody around here sticks to. Oh, there's many's another one, but that's the one that we stick to, that this miraculous cow came out of the loch. But there's a funny bit to it too. There was this jealous thief, got it into the head that wanted this cow, and good enough came and stole the cow. But back to this cow being the special beast that it was, anywhere the cow went, its hoof left a mark. Even on stone, the cow's hoof left a mark. So the cow was easily found, took off the thief, and brought back to the shore, if you follow me. And that's the story that we stick to. So they got the monastery finished, and when all was finished, the cow went back into the loch and was never seen again. So that's the story of how Ardboe, the high cow, got its name. I hope you're following me there. I hope you've found what I've been telling you worth something to you. And I wish you all the best. And if you ever come here, look at that cross. Stand a minute. You don't have to pray or anything. Just stand a minute and look at it. Go and look at the pin tree and take a good look out over the loch. I wish you well. Farewell to you. Summer, summer, milk at the cow. We have brought the summer in. Yellow summer of clear bright days.